But we'll see.
Well, here's something interesting. I had a couple of conversations tonight about the treatments for
Yes.
COVID-19. And did a bit of research about this. Now, just trying to get through the dates here. But it seems there are 3 distinct drugs being investigated for treatment. Someone tilted me towards them. They named the brand of them as well, but that's not up for me to share. It's not a secret. I just don't want to be responsible for anybody going and buying a drug that does have some quite shocking side effects, but is available freely. However, the UK government has already banned the parallel export and hoarding of 3 different drugs used to treat COVID patients in China. And they did this in anticipation of shortages in Britain. Now, bear in mind, this is not a vaccine. This is treatment that seems to work particularly well on the strain of pneumonia that COVID-19 gives you. Now, there are actually 3 quite different drugs. They're being administered in China in clinical trials because they don't have to ask permission. I was called a racist for saying things like that today.
Really?
Yeah,
But it's true.
I'm a massive racist for pointing out that China were welding people into their houses to starve to death, because that's racist. Even though I said it's got nothing to do with their ethnicity, it's to do with the communist government. I am now racist checkmark Twitter. Imagine my horror. So yeah, these 3 drugs. The first one is an antiviral drug marketed in the EU and the US. It's also used for treating HIV. So it's an HIV drug. This one isn't over the counter. It's called Coletra. It's capsules, tablets, coated tablets, etc., etc. So they've been trying that one out. The other one is an anti-malaria drug, derivatives of which are available over the counter. You can just buy them. It's a very, very common drug, the active ingredient in it. Let's say you got to be very careful how you would take them. And the last one is actually an anti-rheumatic agent marketed for rheumatoid arthritis, discoid, and systemic lupus. Now, I know that people that have had lupus are actually on the vulnerable list as far as COVID-19 is concerned. So an anti-lupus drug and anti-rheumatoid arthritis and discoid, an HIV drug and a malaria drug are the ones that are currently being trialled. And I do know that in trials in France, because it's not just China that are trying them. And by the way, you can believe me or not on this. I believe the source I got it from, but it's up to you. 75% success rate in trials in curing COVID-19 related pneumonia. Now, I imagine they're trying desperately to fast track this because it isn't a vaccine, but it is an effective treatment that's easy to administer and apparently reasonably swift in its action. And the government started stockpiling these or preventing them being exported last month. So it started last month once they'd identified that these things were being used.
Have you seen in Japan as well? There's another good one in Japan called Favipiravir, and it's a flu treatment. And apparently in the X-ray scans there was a 91% success rate in reducing the issue compared to 62% who weren't given the drug. So obviously 62, there's quite a high number of people that get better anyway. And we all know that. We all know this doesn't have a...
But the benefit of one of these, Graham, is that it is the active ingredient in it is as common as dirt. It's literally a generic medicine. It's already generic, and it's incredibly common. So we're probably very close to, because they're going to fast track it like crazy, but we're close to an effective treatment. The vaccine is going to turn up before 18 months. We know that. Because there's a race on, isn't it? China are trying to produce it before America, so America can't patent it. Because China have said they're going to produce it and release it to the world.
Yeah,
America have said they're going to produce it and sell it to the world. So
those fuckers in China though are just running interference to.
They're going crazy for the fact they did this. They owe everyone.
I've seen so many people criticize on, like, if someone criticizes China on Twitter because they did lie, if someone criticizes them, they go, well, actually, China are donating respirators. And it's like, well, do you even know that? Do you know that's true?
No, everything China says is true now, didn't you know? Like, you've got all these zero-follower accounts that are suspiciously pro-Chinese. Boxcar has just said China said they'll test drugs on the virus in April. They've been testing these drugs on this virus probably since December or January, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, isn't there? There was that conspiracy theory about that 2015 drug that was developed to treat SARS and coronavirus, but not this strain, obviously, not the COVID-19. And in early January, it's been discovered that China stole the plans for this virus, stole it.
From Canada.
Yeah. And then tried to copyright it in their own name. Which is amazing. January 14th. I've got this saved as a screen grab, and this is the World Health Organization at WHO, and it says that the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of novel coronavirus. This was January the 14th, so this was after they'd stole copyrighted stuff to treat this thing that apparently wasn't having human-to-human things. They lied, and the WHO... This is why the WHO and why people in January... some people were going over the top, but a lot of people were like, it's just the flu, and it's because of shit like this. It's because China just went, no, it's fine.
Well, look, I mean, there's people out there that still believe this happened because some scruffy fucker in Wuhan ate a fucking pangolin. We know that's not what it was, isn't it? Even now, people don't see. Is it not just a little too obvious that there's this fucking biological research plant down the fucking road from the market where all these outbreaks happened? That it just so happens that last year a guy isolated himself.
Yeah.
You know, and isn't it just a bit much to start saying, well, China says this, China says that, when the doctor that was the whistleblower, perfectly healthy, died of something very few healthy people die of. Two of them.
And those that haven't died are just being expelled, aren't they? They're getting rid of all the journalists. The same journalists that are pointing out that there's cases from November last year. November.
They knew well before, like Happy Dogs just said. They've known for months and they sat on it. So every time one of these pricks on Twitter calls me racist, it's not race, mate. Stop being a bellend. Just because you're an anti-capitalist on your iPhone, on Twitter. Come on. This is what communist regimes do. They fucking kill people. Yeah, they've handled the disease perfectly. Yeah, they killed as many people as a fucking disease. You know, if Russia find the cure, it's because they fucking screwed it out of China.
I love it as well. This whole fucking narrative about China wanting to give the vaccine away for free. Fucking bullshit. It's a fucking lie. We're in a situation right now where China has already withheld medicine.
Yeah,
they've already.
But they may have to give the vaccine away free.
Oh, they may have to. They may be forced to. Yes.
I reckon it's already a done deal. If you get it, you give it, because you fucking did this, you assholes.
Yeah.
Best part of 2 months, you didn't tell anyone what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, but you know what else is happening? The whole fucking world right now is waking up to their dependence on China.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that brilliant thing. The best statistic is the last penicillin factory in America closed in 2004. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, and it's like, you know, like, and I don't even know what it's like in Europe, but we have similar issues in terms of dependency for ingredients. We're like, oh, we make it here, but we get the ingredients there. Everyone is looking at China right
Yeah.
now and going, you know what? We'll probably spend a little bit more money
I
from
was
now on and
I
just
was
make it
talking
locally.
I was talking with someone just before on the phone, and it was a good conversation as usual, but also about capitalism.
Mm.
And